The last breath before victory. It was cold. The night was silent. A young boy sat alone on the broken floor of a small room. His name was Ian. His clothes were torn, his hands rough, his stomach empty. But his eyes? His eyes carried fire. "Why is life so unfair?" he whispered. The echo of his own voice came back. Silence answered him. And then inside his heart another voice rose. A stronger voice. "Don't ask why life is unfair. Ask how strong you can be when it is." Ian clenched his fists. He remembered the words he once read. Hard times create strong men. Strong men create history. Morning came. While others slept in warm beds, Ian carried bricks under the hot sun. While others ate with full plates, he drank water to silence his hunger. People laughed when they saw him carrying books at night. "Dreams? You? Impossible," they said. But he stayed silent. Inside he whispered, "First they laugh, then they follow." Every day was a battle. Hunger, pain, loneliness. But still he walked. Still he fought. Still he dreamed. One night, when the whole city slept, Ian studied under a street lamp. The wind was cold, but his determination was hotter than fire. His eyes burned over the torn pages. His lips moved slowly, repeating the lines. And then doubt came again. "What if I fail? What if all this pain is for nothing?" His inner voice replied, "Pain is temporary. Glory is forever." He smiled, closed his eyes, and continued. Days turned into months. Failures came. He failed once. He failed twice. He failed again and again. People pointed fingers. "You are wasting your life. You will never make it." Accept reality. But he remembered the words. Fall 7 times, stand up 8. Every time he fell, he rose. Every time he cried, he wiped his own tears. Every time he broke, he built himself again. Years passed. Ian was no longer a boy. His body was stronger, his mind sharper, his spirit unbreakable. Still, the world doubted him. Still, he was called a fool. But now, he had learned to smile at the insults. One evening, while carrying sacks heavier than his own body, an old man asked him, "Why do you work so hard, son?" Ian looked up and said, "Because I want a future that is heavier than my past." The old man smiled and walked away. But Ian never forgot that moment. The day of the final test arrived. The exam hall was filled with hundreds of students. Some rich, some privileged, some confident. Ian walked in quietly. His clothes were simple. His shoes were worn out, but his heart was roaring like a lion. He sat down, closed his eyes, and whispered to himself, "Success is not for the lucky. It is for the stubborn." Then he began. Hours passed. Questions felt like mountains. But every mountain reminded him of the bricks he once carried. Every problem reminded him of the nights under the street lamp. And he kept writing. And he kept fighting. When the exam ended, he walked out with tired steps. People laughed at his simple clothes again. But he smiled. He knew, inside his paper, he had written his struggle, his pain, his life. Weeks later, results were announced. Hundreds gathered around the notice board. Voices filled the air. Laughter, fear, excitement. Ian pushed through the crowd. His heart beat fast. His hands shook. Sweat rolled down his face. He looked at the board. For a moment, his eyes blurred. Then he saw it. His name, on top, number 1. He froze. Tears fell from his eyes. The same eyes that once cried in hunger. The same eyes that once saw darkness. Now they saw light. He whispered. All the nights of pain were worth this moment. The news spread. The boy who was mocked. The boy who carried bricks. The boy who studied under a street lamp. He was now a name on every tongue. He was now an example. He was now unstoppable. Those who laughed at him stood silent. Those who doubted him bowed their heads. And those who loved him cried tears of pride. Years later, when Ian stood on a world stage, he remembered everything. The hunger, the cold nights, the heavy bricks, the insults, the failures. He smiled at the crowd. Thousands of people clapped. Millions watched him. And he spoke. I was once a boy with nothing. No money, no power, no support. But I had a dream. And when the world said no, I said yes. When life pushed me down, I stood again. When I was hungry, I fed on hope. And today I stand here, proof of one thing. You may be broken. You may be tired. You may be alone. But if you don't give up, the world cannot stop you. The crowd roared. People cried. Hearts shook. And in that moment, Ian's life became more than his own. It became a story for the world. A story for those who doubt themselves. A story for those who are ready to quit. A story that whispered to every ear, "Your last breath of struggle may be the first breath of your victory."